In this video, we are going to learn steps for hypothesis test using p-value approach. So before we go to steps, we have to check certain conditions which are required. So the first condition is that the sample should be random sample. Second condition is that n times p0 times 1 minus p0 should be greater than 10. So here n is a sample size and p0 is a proportion in the claim. And the third condition is that the sample value should be independent of each other. So this condition can be true if the sample size is less than or equal to 5% of the population size. First step is again determine the null and alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis could always be like, say, with p is equal to p0 and it's true to be h0. So h0 is p is equal to p0. It doesn't matter what kind of test it is, two-tailed, left-tailed, or right-tailed. So null hypothesis will be the same, always with the equal sign. So alternative hypothesis H1, so H is actually defined, it will define that which test it will become. So if like say P is not equal to P0, then it means that we are in a two-tiered test. And if like P is less than P0, then we would be performing this left-tiered test. And if like P is greater than P0, so we would be performing right-tiered test. Next step is like select level of significance alpha. It would be usually given in the problem. If not, we can figure this out. Step 3 is computing test statistic z sub 0, which is equal to this p hat. P hat here is like sample proportion, and p0, as I said earlier, is proportion in the claim, and n is a sample size. So we have to just plug in their values here and compute z sub 0. Then in the next we have to compute p value. So again, depending upon the test, say let's see, first we think of like we have left-tailed test, this one. So for the z0 value here that we computed in previous step, and we would then look into the normal distribution table and find the area on this left tail, or we can also use a calculator to figure out what this area is using the command normal CDF on TI-84. So that would give us the area here, and this area here would be p value. Similarly, if it's a right-tailed test, so then the area on the right tail here for z0, you can plot z0 here and then see what this area is. So this area would be p value. Similarly, if it's a two-tailed test, so then we would be looking at area on both tails, sum of the areas, this area plus this area. And in this way, we would compute our p value. And once we have this p value, then our next step is that we have to compare this p value with the significance level alpha. That alpha was from step 2. If p value is less than alpha, we would reject null hypothesis. Otherwise, we would not reject null hypothesis. So next step is state the conclusion. So if like say p value is less than alpha, and we decide to reject null hypothesis, it means that there is enough evidence to support alternative hypothesis. If we do not reject null hypothesis, so we say that there is not enough evidence to support alternative hypothesis. Remember, we would never reject alternative hypothesis. We would only say that there is enough evidence to support or not enough evidence to support alternative hypothesis.